Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Just quickly spend a couple of minutes as to why Thompson-Hein is a sponsor and why I'm here this evening. I have to give most of the credit to Molly here, who I met several weeks ago. She was kind enough to fly out to Cincinnati and be a keynote speaker at one of our Greater Cincinnati Venture Association presentations, where we got talking, in my capacity as the president of the organization, just about what's going on here in Southern California, and in particular, not just from the entrepreneurial side, but in particular in the sustainability and the green economy area. And Molly was kind enough to give me some information about the SBCLA, and it sounded like a great organization. So I was able to convince our powers that be that actually write the checks to be a sponsor this evening. But in spite of what Mark Twain has said, I'm not sure how many of you here are familiar with the quote that's alleged to be given by him, where he said, when the world ends, he wants to be in Cincinnati because everything gets there 20 years later. At least Thompson-Hein has been very proactive in the area of the green economy. And I have lots of propaganda up here. Please feel free to stop by and pick it up. One is a brochure from a seminar that we gave 2.5 years ago about the climate change and just all the not only the risks but the opportunities for companies. And another is just some bring into just within the last week the whole stimulus package and the infrastructure, all the money that's being thrown, and rightfully so, in the area of the green economy and the opportunities there. So we have a good summary here of where that money is going, where the focus is, and what the opportunities are. And I also have some information about our firm and a practice group that we have in the climate change and sustainability area. So this is an area, even though I'm based in Cincinnati, like Steve mentioned, we have 8 offices in the U.S. and Europe. It's clearly a big focus of ours, and this appears to be a great organization that you have going here. But just quickly, a couple of the clients that I work with, one that's mentioned in some of this information up here, one is a company that's in the middle of initial public offering, believe it or not, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that it's going to go through within the next couple of weeks here. But it's a company it's a gasification company, and it takes raw materials from high sulfur coal to rubber tires to biomass to all kinds of nasty products, and internally converts it into a synthetic gas that can then be converted into natural gas, hydrogen, electricity, and all kinds of good uses. And it has a facility, one in Indiana, one in Scotland, and it's building another one in Ohio. And I'm proud to say that the line items that were approved in the sustainability package, the stimulus package, that they're getting a good $1 trillion out of that just for their projects. So that's one of the clients that I'm working with. Another one is here locally. It's a couple of folks here from a group called the Blue Marble Gang LLC, which is focused in the area of educating children on the environment and recycling and green issues. So kind of runs the gamut of the clients that I'm working with. But just to sum it up, really the most important reason why I'm here is that when I left Cincinnati it was 20 degrees. So it's obviously been beautiful here, and I'm glad to be here. So thanks for having me. I look forward to hearing what the panel has to say. With that, I'd like to introduce the moderators. Brenden, McEneaney. He's the Green Building Program Advisor for the City of Santa Monica. In this role, he's responsible for overseeing the Green Building Code requirements for new construction in the city. He also oversees and administers the city's incentive programs, including expedited permitting for buildings pursuing LEED certification, grant funding for buildings achieving LEED certification, and for innovative technologies that address energy efficiency. Brenden also coordinates education and outreach efforts, both for city staff and for residents, to increase awareness of green building design and construction strategies. So with that, I'll turn it over.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Everybody hear me? Yeah? Oh, thank you. Great job, by the way, with that last name. That's about the closest to McEneaney anybody's ever done on the first try. Well done. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Several people mentioned to me on the way up that I missed it, but the president gave a rousing speech, I guess, to Congress and focused on the environment as a key part of rebuilding the economy. Thinking of rebuilding too, rebuilding New Orleans. Happy Fat Tuesday to all you out there. So I think it's appropriate that we're talking about green materials as a centerpiece of the new economy in this rebuilding years that we're going to be having. Got some great panelists for you here today. I'm going to briefly introduce each one of them down the line, then I'm going to come back and ask them to give more detail about why they're here, what they do, how they got into green. So sitting next to me, John Stein, who gave me as his tagline, "Green is a gateway drug," which I thought was great. John is the founder of Kire. Kire is a company that brings sustainable design materials to the market, and you can see some of them here in Living Green. Next to John is Todd Copeland from Patagonia. Todd came to Patagonia 2 years ago for a position made just for him. He's responsible for material development for the Common Threads recycling program and their environmental assessment of all raw materials. So we'll have him talk more about that. Next to Todd is Parvez Taj, who's a founder of a company that produces artwork for retail, hospitality, and corporate environments. The company's recently introduced an eco-friendly line to reflect its dedication to elegant, sustainable design materials. And last but not least, Travis Putnam co-founded Navitas Capital in 2008. He's a managing partner with the firm, and he's focused on green technology solutions for the built environment. So how about a round of applause for all of our participants? So John, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Kire and please include how you yourself personally got into green?
Sure, thanks. Well, as a liberal from Long Island, I think it was in my blood to do something that hopefully wasn't going to be as harmful as possible to the world. I found myself working in marketing and advertising, doing just that, helping companies develop better advertising and marketing for products that I really didn't, not that I didn't care about them, but they didn't do what I wanted to do. Petroleum supply chain management software just wasn't where I thought my energy should be going. So I began working with companies. I began going to green building trade shows and seminars and seeing incredible technologies that were marketed by a guy in a lab coat behind a cheap vinyl sign. And in a world where we're bombarded with advertisements all day and branding all day, telling us that that orange Tide box is the way to get your clothes clean, I realized that some of these world-changing technologies needed professional level marketing. I like to call it Nike level marketing, to help all of us, even those who are in this room. We know in our minds that the new products that are coming out, these sustainable, eco-friendly products, are better, but yet we've been trained for years and years and years to think that Tide means clean. Well, planet Earth also means clean in a much less harmful manner, but we still have to go like this to make sure we reach for that planet Earth box to overcome that training. So I was beginning to work with companies and pardon the long story, to develop that type of marketing when I was shown a piece of Kire board, which is our first product, and well, I didn't know much about design at the time. Showed it to a few people who really went gaga for it, and we developed a brand and a company to market it, and Living Green was actually one of our very first customers, so I'd like to thank Ellen for that, and away we went. And began introducing it to the architectural and design community and finished product community around the country and world, and it's now been used in projects coast to coast, and even Parvez uses it in his projects, so here I am.